So I want to show a couple examples of how to graph using the delta math idea, and to show you exactly how you're going to set everything up. So you do everything the exact same way. Here's your delta math problem. You're still going to go through the exact same steps. So I'm going to first see if I can factor, take out a negative 4 on top, left with x plus 3. And on the bottom, that factors into x minus 3, x plus 3. So I have an x plus 3 that's going to cancel. Before I do that, let me just jot down what my domain is. So everything except for 3 and negative 3, because that's when the bottom equals 0. So to negative 3 to positive 3, and positive 3 to infinity. So that means that 3 and negative 3 have to be my vertical asymptote and my whole. The negative 3 is what cancels out because x plus 3 equals 0 at negative 3. So x equals negative 3. And the positive 3 is what did not cancel on the bottom, so that makes that the vertical asymptote. Cool, so now we can go write down the x-intercept is when the top equals 0. You use your factored form. All you have is negative 4 equals 0. Well, that can't happen, so no x-intercept. The y-intercept is when you plug in 0. That I prefer to use the original, and when I do that, I get negative 12 over negative 9. So that means I have 12 over 9, which is 4 over 3, as the y value for the y-intercept. Horizontal and slant asymptote is all that's left, and you're going to do long division. Well, this is another problem that you should be able to recognize. You can't do any long division because you would have to do negative 4x minus 12 on the inside, x squared minus 9 on the outside. X squared times what to give you negative 4x? That can't happen. So it's like you've already done the long division. So we assume that you've done 0 in front, and the horizontal asymptote then becomes that y equals 0. The other way to make sure you can tell, if the numerator is smaller than the denominator, you can't do any sort of division. So that's when you're going to get the horizontal asymptote of 0. So that means that your remainder is the negative 4x minus 12, or use the factored remainder of negative 4 minus 3x. So really we should be using this equation. And when does your numerator equal 0? Well, again, it does not, so there is no crossing of the asymptote. So instead of you graphing everything over here on the right yourself, on delta math, you're just going to go one step at a time. So I want to see vertical asymptote, and I have vertical asymptote at x equals 3, so I'll drag it over there. I don't have a horizontal asymptote. Yes, I do. Horizontal asymptote is y equals 0. So it'll plot the dotted line, and I'll move it up and down to make sure it's at 0. The x-intercept is what I don't have, so I don't even click it. The y-intercept is at 4/3, so I'm not going to be able to get it exactly right on the money. With a fraction, it definitely locks on at certain spots. Just get it close, and it will be fine. So 4/3 is a little more than 1. We did a horizontal asymptote already. The only thing left is a whole. The whole is at x equals negative 3, but we don't know exactly what our y value is yet. Remember, the way you find that, if we go back over to our problem over here, is if you plug negative 3 into the equation after you factored it, you get negative 4 over negative 6. So 4 over 6, which is like 2/3. So the y value is 2/3 on that whole. So I'm going to move that down so it's kind of a little bit beneath 1. And now the easy part, they're going to plot it for you, which is nice because, remember, there's 3 portions of your domain over here. That means we should have 3 parts of the graph. It should graph a spot here. It should graph connecting those dots. And then it has to draw something over here, which we don't know specifically where it would be. We would have to test and say, well, at x equals 4, if you plug in 4 into this equation, I get negative 4 over 1, so it should be down below. It's going to do that for you. So negative 4, exactly where we expected it to be, 4 comma negative 4. And once you do that, you submit your answer. Are you sure you want to submit? Yes, there it is, and it gives you all the steps of exactly how to do your graph.